everyone, let's talk books. And I am here today with another haul. I know, I think my last video was also a haul. I'm still working through some reading material, and I will actually have probably a wrap up and a currently reading video up soon. But I wanted to share with you some of the stuff that I've been buying recently because I went over, I love my local used bookstore. It's just really great. They have really good stuff, and I keep buying stuff there. So it's also my birthday month, so I feel like I save up during the year, and I do go a little bit crazy for my birthday. So just FYI, that's part of what's been happening here. Okay, my local bookstore was doing a sale, a huge sale on DVDs, vinyl, CDs, all that stuff. So I did pick up one DVD. This is the National Geographic Beyond the Movie Troy, Ancient Myths and Unsolved Mysteries. I teach a class on ancient Greece, so I thought might be worth it to check it out. Yeah, this looks ancient. I'm always looking for things that might be useful to show in class, so just FYI that I do have that. Okay, so next up, I did pick up a history book. This one is called Red Fortress, History and Illusion in the Kremlin by Merridale. Merridale is an author that I have read. Her book, Ivan's War, is really, really brilliant. And I'm actually thinking of assigning that one in a class for next semester. But I saw that they had this one, and I've never read this one. So I wanted to pick it up and kind of read up more about Russian history, and in particular here about the Kremlin, which I am very interested in. It is a very thick, it's an academic book. She is a historian. So it's not going to be for the light casual reader, but I have no problem with this. So I just FYI that I will be reading that probably in December, which is when I have a little bit more time for heavier academic reading that are not things that I have already assigned for my class. Okay. A couple more things are audiobooks. I said in my previous videos that I'm really into audiobooks at the moment. This is the way that I am primarily getting through books at the moment, and because I spend a lot of time in traffic. So I was looking through the audiobooks at my local bookstore, and I found this John Grisham one. It's called Playing for Pizza, and it so happened that a few days before this, my book club had met, and I had mentioned to them that I've really been loving Grisham books, audiobooks in particular. I've read, I did a review, I believe, where I mentioned on here the book The Innocent Man, which was his one nonfiction book, and I'm currently reading another one of his books, an audiobook, and she really recommended this one as one of his non-legal books that was really good. So I am excited to read this, even though it looks like it's a lot having to do with American football and the NFL, which is not one of my favorite sports, but still I am excited to read a non-legal Grisham book. Another audiobook that I picked up, and this one I honestly pulled it out of the shelf because of the way it looks. It is called Evermore, The Immortals by Alyson Noel, and I have not read anything by this author. I had never heard of her. I had never heard of this book, but a quick description over in the back says, after a horrible accident claims the lives of her family, 16-year-old Everbloom can see people's auras, hear their thoughts, and know someone's entire life story by touching them. Going out of her way to avoid human contact and suppress her abilities, she has been branded a freak at her new high school, but everything changes when she meets Damon Auguste. So it looks like this might actually be part, this is this opening book in a new series. So it's a book series, and in the back it says, the Immortals will thrill many teen fantasy suspense readers, especially fans of Stephanie Meyer's Twilight series. I don't know. I read all of the Twilight series. I don't know how much of a fan I am of it, but I thought I would give it a shot, especially since I needed to add to my audiobook selection. Okay, next up, I picked up Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, which is an author that I had never heard of until I started BookTube. So I have BookTube to thank to hearing about Leigh Bardugo, and I know she has a lot of fans, that these books are very well loved. So when I saw that my local bookstore had this book and only this book by her, and that this was the first one in a trilogy, I picked it up. So this looks like a really nice copy. It doesn't have a lot of or any bent pages or anything like that. It also is signed by the author. It's got a signed page here. It's signed to Grace. So thank you, Grace, for not wanting this in your bookshelf anymore, so that I can give Leigh Bardugo a shot. So here is where I am going to ask you all for a little bit of help, since I've never read any Leigh Bardugo. And I am planning on reading this fairly soon. I want you to recommend, what should I start with this one by Leigh Bardugo, or is there somewhere else where I need to start when it comes to her books? Let me know, because I'm willing to go out and buy some, shell out some money on her books, but I also want to start in the appropriate place. So tell me if this is a good place to start, or if you recommend my starting somewhere else with Leigh Bardugo. I'm really interested to see what you are all going to say. So next up, let's see, is Fangland. So this was also at my local bookstore. I was just looking through their horror section and seeing what I might pick up, since it's October and I probably will not be reading this in October, but hey, I'm in a horror mood, so I thought I would pick this one up. So this one's by John Marks. Never heard of him, never heard of this novel, but in the back it says, Evangeline Harker is an employee of that legendary TV newspaper, The Hour, sent on assignment to track down a notorious Eastern European crime boss named Ion Torgu. She disappears, only to turn up months later in a Transylvanian monastery, her memory seemingly scrubbed. Back at the show's New York office, disturbing emails and coffin-like boxes are being delivered, and the sound system has become infected with a faint background hiss. When rumor has it that Torgu himself is coming in for an interview, a very dark, old world atmosphere descends, and the show's employees are forced to confront a threat beyond their wildest imaginings. I don't know, sounded kind of interesting to me. Lastly, in the book that one of the books I'll be adding almost immediately to my reading list is Night Walking by Sarah Moss. I forget who I was seeing on YouTube talking about this. I will link her down below though, because I do want to give credit to people on YouTube that send me to particular books. So this one by Sarah, it's part of a series as well. But this one really interests me because it deals with issues that I've been thinking about recently. Not all of them, but a few in here. So this is a historian that is experiencing insomnia and is overwhelmed with her kids. She's got apparently two young boys, and she's not dealing well with being at home taking care of the children. So she's trying to write and struggling with it, and then she finds a baby skeleton in the garden, it looks like. An investigation begins, and Anna must confront the island's past while finding a way to live with the compelling demands of the present. So this is the book that my book club, I recommended to my book club, and we picked this to read. So I'm going to start reading it fairly soon. And it seemed just really interesting. I've been thinking a lot about motherhood lately, especially as someone in her early 30s. I feel like somewhere in the near future, I'm going to have to make that decision about whether I want to be a mother or not, and how that will affect my goals, my life, my career. And so, I don't know, I've been thinking about that a lot and talking about it with friends who are also going through the same situation, and with my sister. And so, I don't know, it sounds like interesting takes. I'm particularly interested in, the non-rosy, more realistic versions of what motherhood actually is. So I'm seeing my friends obviously go through it, and it's not all roses and sunshine. So that is it. Those are the books that I've been picking up recently. Like I said, I will be doing a currently reading update. But again, number one thing I want from you guys hopefully is to let me know where in the Leigh Bardugo library I should start reading. I would really appreciate your help with that. So that is it for me for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.